You might remember the saying, I don't know what I know, and that's what I know, so that's what I know. Something to that effect. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. If you're joining from the Eastern time zone, well, we're about 8 hours? I can't do the math. We're less than 24 hours. There we go. Less than 24 hours after the eclipse has passed through here, this total eclipse, for 2 minutes and 40.2 seconds. 2 minutes, 40.2 seconds. And some people paid over $1,000 just to stay in a hotel near the site of that path, that 79-mile wide path across the U.S. from coast to coast. Some people were taking advantage of that and wanted to fill their day with taking this spectacular phenomenon where the moon passes in front of the sun. Having the special equipment so they didn't burn their retinas out, hopefully. So what's Tuesday? What's Tuesday going to tell us? Well, Tuesday, if you think about today, okay, all those people are now leaving. And you might have seen some of those pictures. People lined up for miles, just bumper to bumper, just almost a standstill on the highway to get to North Carolina and other places across the nation. Now, if you figure $1,000 they might have spent for a hotel room and food and gas and what? Did they figure in their time? They figure in all the other things they could have been doing that meant a whole lot more. You know, experience is great. Being able to experience a total solar eclipse is pretty cool. I've seen, I haven't directly looked at the sun. We used to do those things, looking at a box and looking down at the box at the far end. The sun would come over the shoulder and you'd be able to see the eclipse unfold. Now, one of my friends yesterday was very genius about it, took a genius role about it, or maybe it's a throwback to the way we used to look at it. He took a cracker and he had the light pass through the cracker, so a Ritz cracker, and then it created five little pictures of the eclipse happening. He also took a colander and then put that out. So there was come very cool looks of the representation of that eclipse happening. I would say that we would need something that's lifting, something that gives us more. And I'm thinking back to my days as I was putting this together. I was thinking back to my high school days, and that was a long, long time ago. But around that time, there were a lot of muscle cars in the Detroit area. Chargers and Camaros and Trans Ams, and you can name it, they had a lot. And it always amazed me about the amount of power that could get pushed to the back wheels. And in some cases, these guys were really good. Some of my peers were really good, and they were able to get the front end off the ground. So if you put a lot of momentum in and it starts to lift up the lighter end of the car, isn't that what we want to do? Isn't that what we want to do in our day? Instead of looking up at the sun and saying, oh, wow, okay, that's over. Don't we want to build some momentum and move forward and launch forward? We have to have the right combination. We have to have the right things. What is in your life? What are you looking at? What are the right things in your day? Are they moving you forward? Or are there some things that are, not quite right? Are there things that won't get your traction going and you're stuck and you end up spinning your wheels, but you're not going anywhere? Now, if your intention is to smoke up your wheels, throw some bleach behind them, and underneath them, and get that momentum of the wheels and heat them up, you can have a spectacular smoke frenzy, you know, just have that smoke and that smell of burnt rubber waffling through the air. What did it do for you? You're still standing in the same place, and maybe you got some oohs and ahs just like the solar eclipse. It's science, or it's, you know, it's nature, it's where we're at. So how do we lift? How do we move forward? Well, we're going to take a look this week on how we move forward and what are the tools, what are the aspects that we need. Now, there's a couple things coming up soon. There's going to be a retreat, and there's going to be an opportunity to learn about some people's great stories of change. And that's coming next week, that Stories of Change night. And we'll have more information. I'll throw a link in the notes. It's a free event. You know, it's a half an hour online. You can sit back and interact with 3 people who have some great stories to tell. What's particular about your day? Now, I was looking at John Maxwell's No Limits book. It's one of his newest ones. And he said, the more I learned, the more I understood how much I didn't know. The more I learned, the more I understood how much I didn't know. And I feel that when we, you know, even get that vehicle running, right? And we're spinning those wheels, we only know so much until somebody says, wow, if you throw bleach underneath, you can create smoke, and you can create, you know, that display of all the power that's going in the wheels. Or you can launch down the street. Now, in Woodward, every year on Woodward Avenue in Detroit area, every year they do a car show, and it's just bumper to bumper, old cars, and people just, it's a dream cruise. And you're able to run down the street and see, well, kind of running down, you're really slow because you really want to take in all the sights. You want to be able to walk among the cars, but it's the cars of yesteryear. You know, so there's a purpose, right? There's an experience that you want to get. There's something that you want to leave as tangible. And if we think of ourselves as a dream cruise, we want to dust ourselves off, polish up our car, you know, stand out as a model for everybody else. Stand out in our lives for something more. So what is it that we can do? I have 2 questions for you. If they come back here. Yes. What downhill habits do you currently possess that are taking you away from your ideal future? That's number 1. What are the downhill habits? So downhill habits are, you're just allowing it to happen. And you're receiving whatever you receive. You have no intention into it. You have no growth into it. You're not learning anything. It's just coming to you. You know, this might be, you know, can you get me that drink out of the refrigerator? So you have somebody bring you a drink because you can't get off the couch. You're too busy into the game. You can't be bothered, right? Maybe something else in your life that you don't take control of. We talked in prior days about how to take control of your agenda. And what that is important. That lifts you off. That gets you moving forward. That gets you up the hill. That gets your car off the front, off the ground, and moving forward so there's less resistance. Second question, what uphill habits must you cultivate to replace the unproductive ones? So if you have unproductive habits, if there's things that are not adding to your day, but you're doing just to check off, yes, I let the cat out. I closed the door. I closed the window. I turned the air on. I played with the refrigerator. I cleaned the air vents out. While they might be good activities, are they putting something forward in your life? Or is it just carrying something forward on a daily task list that doesn't add value, doesn't make you more productive? Doesn't get those wheels rolling on the back of the car to launch you forward. You're just spinning. If you think about it, you can hold the brake and just spin those tires, but you're not going anywhere until you release the brake. So what is it in your life that you're holding the brake on? What habits? What habits are you holding back on? What are the things that are most important in your life ahead of you that you need to reach? I ask you. This is just me to you. We all have habits. What are yours? What are yours that if you could, if you chose, if you made this moment a change, what can you do to be different? Now for me, the last couple nights I've been up really late. So what happens? I get later going off in the morning, but I find sometimes that's good for me. Sometimes that gives me a little more fuel for the rest of the day because then I'm got enough sleep. I'm actually a little more productive instead of struggling to get up and then really trying to get something done. And, hours pass by and suddenly it's afternoon. Sometimes the reversal or change up in your schedule actually adds to your lift. So what are you doing to change up your life today? So which ones are you just allowing to happen? And which ones are you going to replace with a habit that gets you further down the road? That's the thought for today. My name is Joe Dutkiewicz. Again, I'll give that link in the show notes, but we're going to have some additional events here for you to help you lift, to speak into what speed means. We'll talk more about speed and what that means this week. But the first step in speed is really understanding what are the hills, what are the valleys, what is going on in our life. Either we're productive, either you're productive, or you're not. There's many meanings to words, and words matter in what we speak. Did you know that water has 18 good purposes? The word water, the actual water, here we go. The actual water has 18 good purposes and 9 bad ones. Water can kill you in certain circumstances. A word, taking each word, is either a medicine or it's poison. Either it has a good benefit or it will kill you. Or it will harm. It may be a comforting message to someone that you know, to take a moment and say, "Hi, my name is Joe. How can I help you? What can I do for you? What about if I did this for you? Would that help?" It can also harm by saying the opposite. So be well. Let's talk more about speed. It's about revving those tires up and moving forward, not staying stuck, not smoking them up just for the smoke, but to move forward with great speed, because in today's life, you need to transform quickly. You need to move faster. And if you can accomplish and be on top of the speed needed, you'll get further ahead down the road. Be well. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.